they are about misrepresentation and how politics of misrepresentation in Hawaii. So just to set the context, we start with the first article is about Captain Cook. I guess most of you know about him, and it's like this guy was a great navigator, as being told to us. He navigated through Pacific Ocean. He took 3 voyages, and he's being portrayed as the guy. Adventurous gentleman guy who is like the epitome of educated European breed. So the main theme of the article is about a picture, which is the second one which you see there. It's about death of Captain Cook. So he was killed by the natives of Aboriginal area, basically Hawaiian native. So when you see the picture, what you see? You see that these are savage, the savage Hawaiian native who is actually killing him. And the underlying thought, which is published in the book and everywhere, is the thought is not the importance and is not about why he was killed. Nobody talks about what was the reason why he was killed and what happened after that. People only talk about the savagery, the brutal nature of the people, Hawaiian people, and the country is set like that. But just to know about what's the actual truth behind it. So this thing was, why he was killed was basically Captain Cook kidnapped a Hawaiian village chief, and when these people retaliated about that, he actually shot another guy who protested against him, and then in retaliation these guys killed him, but nobody took stress on it. So it just shows how people, how the Euro-American press, which is more prevalent, which has control over the press and modes of communication, and actually written books focusing about the savage nature of the native people and not about what has actually happened, what is the truth. So it actually creates a disguise. They make us see what they want us to see, not the actual truth. So this is the first article. The second article is about Hawaiian government.
Okay, so talking about the political representation, it is presenting someone's ideas, opinions or perspectives to the public. Representing only refers to the language used in the context, which is assigned to the social aspects. So here Euro-Americans always considered, like, they wanted to represent the Hawaiian people to be a threat to their community. So they started creating their negative image in the movies during 1930s and 40s. Here they represented it as a Hawaiian woman to be so attractive to the Euro-American men, such that even if they sing or dance, the Euro-American men used to live their civilized marriage and they just used to abandon it and go to the native women. On the other hand, native men were presented such that they had very little value and they used to get married only those women which are left by the Euro-Americans. So even if, and moreover, the marriages of native people were given very less importance, and the value for the women's pride in Hawaii was so less that it had no value. Even if the princess of Hawaiian society was getting raped, then it was shown in such a way that it had very less minor act, and it is a very minor act and had less impact on the society. So basically they are trying to dominate the Hawaiian society and grab the attention towards their own regionality and capture their locality, whatever. So
basically what our point was, do you ever see a woman in your societies wearing dresses like this all the time? But these people would also be doing the same thing. But it's actually the portrayal, how the masses and communication is portraying that to you and how your image is created about a society. But now whenever we talk about a Hawaiian trip, we think of things like that. So this is how misrepresentation of data has made up your mind about something.
Here they are only trying to show that once some Euro-American is reached in the Hawaiian society, the woman just starts singing and dancing and smiling. That is enough for Euro-American men to leave their families, abandon them and just go and marry these women. So that is like they are trying to create a image of Hawaiian men or women with less value and kind of degrading them. So similar, on the same basis, anti-communism during 20th century can be explained. During 20th century, communism gained the power, and there was fear that it will go further. So few movements were conducted to address this communism. Anti-communism was at the peak, following by the Cold War during 1947 and 1977. It only ended when the Cold War ended during 1991. So this happened because during the commencement of Cold War, there was a fear of communism as an ideology. The people were concerned that the ideology will penetrate the US society. Putting it in other words, there was more fear of US policy to be get affected by the ideology of communism, and the culture and society to be get influenced by the ideology of communism. So here what anti-communists did is they were constantly trying to eradicate the thought of communism. So they influenced people, they tried to show that it is a big threat to the society, they gained their trust, and with this they just tried to legitimize the war against the communism. So this anti-communism had a huge impact in influencing the Western liberalism during 20th century and creating some influence over social democracy. The results were finally seen when less than 50,000 of US people participated in Communist Party out of around 150 million US Americans. So this is how they are trying to create impact and influence people and represent. They showed communism to be a big threat to the society and drive more people to anti-communism.
So basically this is one of the managerial contexts which we thought by the use of major press and media, books, literature. If you see the books during that period, it was Animal Farm, 1984, what they portrayed that communism is going to come to your house, they are going to destroy your society. So this was like a synthetic threat which they created and thought American government thought that this will help them to legitimize the war against Vietnam and maybe against Soviet Union. So there is one managerial context we thought, and this is second. This is more about using cultural connotation in major social synthetic threat which they created and thought American government thought that this will help them to legitimize the war against Vietnam and maybe against Soviet Union. So there is one managerial context we thought, and this is second. This is more about using cultural connotation in major social advertisement. So what you see there is Google Plus, right? So what they use there is they use the idea of communism. They try to add a connotation that it is related to communism, and the theme line there is all must be shared to win the war. So this is the same theme which communists use. So we try to do that. What they are trying to do is they are trying to attach it to communism. This was floated by the rivals of Google, and this is a way how cultural connotation can be used in advertisement, and you attach a notion to it and people realize and people subconsciously accept that. So that already the American people are paranoid about communism, and when they see something connected to it, they just run away from it. And there is similar other examples as well, like this one, Apple versus Android, and this one is similar thing. So what we try to do is we try to show how cultural connotation can be used in advertisement and is predominantly used there.
So the remaining presentation goes on just explaining a symbol that is currently in practice and its possible application. So you see, before if a person needs to search anything or he needs to have any information, during the medieval period, it directly goes to the scholars. So these people are relied on for information. So if you go to the pre-modern period, if the people need any answer, they directly go to the library, search the books and find the information. So this is a state now. So Google, so if the people need any information, they won't go to the library, they just go Google and search it. So even if I ask the question, where are the keys, most of the people here will answer Google it. So what are the possible application is, so suppose, think about a hypothetical situation like the federal government is owning Google. So what they can do is, so during the election periods, they can list the results in such a way that only the good part of federal government gets listed. So the things, the things that negates the actions of the previous actions of federal government only listed in the Google search. So using this, they can using Google, they can influence the people to vote for them. So one more possible application is so suppose Google can be used in stages of crisis. So suppose there's an industry, there's a sector that's growing very fast, and if the government thinks there's a possibility of a bubble bursting, so in that case, what they can use, I mean, the Google can be used to list those results. Suppose list that some other sector is more preferable than the current sector that is growing. So this actually makes the people divert toward the second sector, so that the possibility of a bubble bursting can be eliminated.
So our main idea was to say how a symbol is being used. So Google has now become a single symbol for search. So whatever you always believe, whatever results you see there, it's legitimized, it's correct, and it's like the Bible for this time. You just see through it, and whatever comes there is the truth for you. Now we don't know if it is being used by alternate government or not. We don't know, but it is a possibility that they might be using it. They first create a symbol. Now is the time where they can use it to achieve their own task, and it might be very much possible because Google is everywhere, wherever you see, and people, there's an alternate discussion everywhere that because it's in maps, it's in advertisements, it's everywhere, where whatever you see is being controlled by them, and if somebody who wants to influence you can control it and in a way control you. That's right.
And moreover, it is perceived that all the information will be available in Google. So whatever you search, and you'll get everything in Google. So even if we have small dot, we'll just Google it, or any article, even these articles, we'll just Google and see if we could get any answers. So it is just an idea that we will get it. And the fact is different.
Thank you.